Hey everybody, it's Gail, and this is Errata-Hate episode 32, coming to you from a slightly different angle in my living room. Rearranged where the computer was, so here we are. So today, I want to show you a technique. It's corner-to-corner crochet, which you may have started to see a lot of. It looks like in the last couple of years, it's really become something that a lot of people are doing, and I have an in-progress corner-to-corner right here. And as you can see, you work it on a diagonal. And so it starts actually down in this corner, and then you keep adding squares until you've reached where the top of your project is going to be, and then you work straight across and back down. So it's a technique I really like. I've made a couple of huge blankets with it because I don't measure when I'm working it. And so what I'm going to do, this is actually part one of a two-part technique video. So today in part one, I'm going to show you just how to do the corner to corner. So I'm going to show you the starting chain, I'm going to show you how you add stitches, and I'm going to show you how you build to the size you want and also decrease. So, you know, if it's something you've seen and you've been wondering about, good news, it's just a bunch of double crochet. Someone got really clever with it, and so we got this, which is great, because I love it clearly for text, and then it's also great for pictures. So I'm going to whip the camera around and show you that, and then in the second part of the tutorial, which we'll post next week, I will show you how to do these color changes I'm doing, and just to warn you ahead of time, the back of your work will end up looking like this and like this. But it's a lot of fun. So I'm going to flip the camera, show you that technique, and see how it goes. All right, camera has been flipped, and the first thing you're going to want to do is work 6 chain stitches, which as you can see I've already done. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to actually want to skip the first 3 chain stitches, so 1, 2, 3, and then you're going to complete double crochets in the last 3 chain stitches. So we're going to yarn over, work into that chain, pull up a loop, yarn over, work through 2 loops, yarn over, work through 2 loops, and we're going to do that twice more. Well, if I can see my stitches. There we go. So 1, 2, and then 1, 2. So this right here is your first row when you're working corner to corner. So to start row 2, what you're going to do is you're going to make 6 more chain stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And you're going to do the same thing you just did down here. So you're going to skip those first 3. 1, 2, 3. And you're going to work double crochets into those last 3. So there's double crochet number 1. Oop, my yarn's getting caught up over here. There we go. Double crochet number 2. And double crochet number 3. And this is how you're always going to do an increase. You're always going to chain those 6 and then build another block. So now what you've got to do is finish row 2, and the way that you do that is you come into this first chain 3 space, and you're going to do a join. So just do a slip stitch join, chain 3, and then you're going to go ahead and create 3 double crochets in that chain 3 space from row 1. 2, 3. So there is row 2 completed, and you're just going to keep working like this, and I'll do a couple more rows so you can see it. And so you're going to work the vertical right here, so you're going to keep adding vertically for as tall as you want your project, and then you're going to work horizontally coming toward your right, which will be the length of your project. And so now I'm going to do row 3, and I'm going to do it again by doing that chain 6, 4, 5, 6, and once again just repeating that same same start that we've been doing. So skip 1, 2, 3, and then work these 3 in double crochet. Now, if you've seen a lot of my videos, you know that I prefer to do a chain 2 start on double crochets because I prefer it. I think it's neater. I'm actually going to do a demonstration video of that coming up in batch 5, I believe. And the reason I keep it a chain 3 for this technique is because that's how the technique is done. And you need that space to build those double crochets. And also, what did I do? Oh, I picked up my end here. To build those double crochets and also make sure the project will lay flat. You know, that's really important to be able to lay the project flat, since corner to corner is mostly used for blankets. Although there's a lot of ways to play with it. Okay, so there's the first part of row 3. And so you're going to come into the stitch next to it. You're going to do that slip stitch join again. Oh, sorry for the blur. Slip stitch join again. My yarn is getting a little iffy over here. Gonna chain 3, and you're gonna do those 3 double crochets into that space. Yeah, the 2 blankets I've made, one I believe is about 4 feet square. The other one is 5 feet 8 inches square. So if you're designing yourself, definitely keep track of how wide your project's gonna get, because it can sneak up on you. All right, we've done that second one, and now we're gonna come into this chain 3 space on the top and chain 3. I am just having a devil of a time with this. This yarn usually works fine for me. There we go. And then 3 double crochets. And this will finish off row 3. 1, 2, 3. Now, if you wanted to keep going, you would do that chain 6 and build that same square that we've been building on these ends. But to keep this video as brief as I can, let's say you only want this vertical of this 3 stack. And so what you're going to do to close off adding height to your project is you're going to chain 3. Pull up some more yarn over here. All right. And then you're going to come into the chain 3 space on this top stitch. You're going to work a slip stitch. And then you're going to treat this chain 3 space like you've been treating the other ones. So you're going to chain 3, and then you're going to work 3 double crochets. And then you are just going to work your way down the way that you've been working. And so there is that first one on this even. And we'll do it again. And when you come down to the horizontal, you know, if you're making a scarf, you'll probably hit your width faster than your length. And so you'll hit your width, and then you'll just work your length by adding more squares on the horizontal. And I'm going to add another square on the horizontal so you can see kind of the beginning of a rectangle. And then after that, I will start closing it off so you can see how that works. I really like how this stitch pattern closes out, because as you start the completion, you do less and less stitches, which is a nice change from most of my projects, where by the end of it, I'm generally doing more and more stitches. I do like a full skirt, and it comes back to bite me. Okay, so now we have, this is row 4, and you can tell that by counting across. And so you can see we're building inward on this particular piece. And so what I'm going to do now is, I've finished round 4. I'm going to go ahead and close off this round. I keep saying round and I mean row. I'm so sorry. I'm going to close off this row like I did up here. So I'm going to do that chain 3. Come over. You're going to just immediately work into that chain 3. Work up. 3 chains. and then work those double crochets. And this will close off very quickly because it's a small sample piece. I can attest when you're working on a big piece that you didn't mean to make the same height as your husband. Decreases for a while can feel like they go on forever. But if you're liking what you're making, it's still a pretty fun process. I really like corner to corner on days when I can't really put my mind on a project, because it's very easy to sit down and work with the yarn and have some fun. All right, so I'm gonna do there was a slip stitch join into this top chain 3. I'm gonna chain 3, and then I'm gonna turn, work it directly back into that chain 3 because I want to keep that same height. And now I'm going to work back down. And now I'm going to work the final stitch to close this off. And so I'm going to work 1, 2, 3, 3 chains. And then I'm going to work those 3 double crochet. So you can see that this is a case of repetition. And I think that's great because you can actually do a whole lot with this repetition. Once you get going on it and get used to it. And then to bind off, because now I've got a rectangle, I'm just going to slip stitch my chain 3, and then I would cut off and pull through to complete the piece and have this little rectangle. So those are the basics of working corner to corner crochet. When I see you next week, we will do color change, which is fairly simple. If you've done double crochet color change before, it's very similar. It's just that because each stitch is the chain 3 and the 3 double crochet, you just got to be careful where you place it to get the right size and the right look. As always, if you enjoy what I'm doing here, please like, subscribe, share. The Patreon is up as always, and if you've watched a few of my videos and you haven't dropped me $1, you might consider doing that. $1 a month can go a long way. I will be putting out a couple of small patterns, so you can practice corner to corner. It will go up next week, and it will only be available to patrons. So if you are not a patron, you can't get the charts that I made, and I think they're both pretty cute. So, think about that. Did not mean to make that vaguely threatening. Anyway, I'm going to go. I'll see you guys soon, and I hope you enjoy.